Japan hosts Ukraine Reconstruction Conference to showcase support. Israel's Netanyahu slams Brazilian president for comparison. Dozens killed in Papua New Guinea tribal violence. Media campaign for British Museum to return Easter Island statue. Dubai International Airport had 86.9 million passengers last year. Oppenheimer wins 7 prizes, including Best Picture.
Hello, I'm Wade Lee. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It is Tuesday, February 20th, and here are your top stories. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida on Monday pledged his country's long-term engagement in Ukraine's reconstruction, calling it a future investment, as Japan stressed its commitment to supporting the war-torn country ahead of the 2-year anniversary of Russia's invasion. In his keynote speech at a conference Japan co-organized with the Ukrainian government and business organizations, Kishida said Japan's public and private corporations will be a long-term partnership based on inclusivity, humanitarianism, as well as technology and knowledge.
Kishida stressed the importance of investment across industries for the future of that country's development and ensuring that the support caters to Ukraine's needs. More than 50 cooperation deals were signed by Japanese and Ukrainian government agencies and companies, and Kishida announced an opening of a new government trade office in Kyiv. Japan hopes to build momentum for global support for Ukraine as the war drags on and attention has diverted to the conflict in Gaza. Japan's focus on reconstruction, in part due to its legal restraints on providing lethal weapons, contrasts with many Western countries, whose largely military support faces increasing scrutiny over costs. A new U.S. aid package to Ukraine is stalled in the Congress.
Israel on Sunday condemned Brazil's president for comparing the war in Gaza to the Holocaust, accusing him of being anti-Semitic and trivializing the Nazi genocide of European Jews during World War II. The outcry further strained relationships between the countries, which have deteriorated since President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva returned to office last year. Lula has portrayed himself as a leader of the Global South, a loosely defined group of developing countries.
Speaking to reporters at the African Union Summit in Ethiopia, Lula said that what is happening in the Gaza Strip and to the Palestinian people hasn't been seen in any other moment in history. Actually, it did when Hitler decided to kill the Jews. Such comments strike a raw nerve in Israel, a country established as a haven for Jews in the wake of the Holocaust. Israel rejects any comparisons of its conduct in the war in Gaza to the Holocaust. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Lula's comments trivialized the Holocaust and crossed a red line. He also accused Lula of being a virulent anti-Semite. Foreign Minister Israel Katz wrote on X, formerly Twitter, that he had summoned Brazil's ambassador in Israel for a reprimand. Katz called Lula's comments shameful and serious. Lula's comments came after leaders at the O Summit on Saturday condemned Israel's offensive in Gaza and called for its immediate end.
Dozens of men have been killed in a fresh outbreak of tribal violence in the remote highlands of Papua New Guinea. The victims were shot dead during a tribal dispute in the Inga province over the weekend, a national police spokesperson told the BBC. The highlands area has long struggled with violence, but these killings were believed to be the worst in years. An influx of illegal firearms have made clashes more deadly and fueled a cycle of violence. Police started collecting bodies at the scene near the town of Wabag, roughly 600 kilometers northwest of the capital port Moresby. Media outlets say police received graphic videos and photos purporting to be from the scene, showing bodies loaded onto a truck.
Escalating tribal conflict, often over the distribution of land and wealth, led to a 3-month lockdown in Enga last July, during which police imposed a curfew and travel restrictions. In August last year, the violence made international headlines after graphic footage involving 3 dead men circulated online. Governor Peter Ipadas told ABC that there had been signs that fighting was about to erupt again ahead of the ambush. With up to 17 tribes involved in the most recent escalation, it was ultimately up to the security forces to keep the peace, he said. From a provincial perspective, We knew this fight was going to be on, and we alerted the security forces last week to make sure they took appropriate action to ensure this didn't occur.
The British Museum has been subject to a campaign by social media users in Chile demanding the return of a stone monument taken from Easter Island. The museum has two moai statues which were taken from the Chilean territory of Rapa Nui, or Easter Island, in 1868. The online campaign began after an influencer encouraged his followers to spam the museum's Instagram posts with "Return the Moai" comments. The British Museum said it deactivated comments on one social media post. The island of Rapa Nui, located some 3,700 kilometers from Chile's Pacific coast, is well known for its moai statues, which are said to embody the spirit of a prominent ancestor.
Dating back to between 1400 and 1650 AD, many remain on the island to this day, but several have been transferred to museums around the world, including the Wa Hakananaya in the British Museum's collection. The statue, along with a second, smaller moai known as Hava, were given as gifts to Queen Victoria in 1869 by the captain of HMS Tapes, Commodore Richard Powell. The Queen donated the two statues to the British Museum. There have long been calls to return the Wa Hakananaya, or stolen friend, to Rapa Nui. The renewed campaign by Chilean social media influencer Mike Milford saw many of his followers demand its repatriation in the comments section of several of the museum's Instagram posts. The sculptures are one of the most high-profile artifacts in the debate about whether museums across the world should return items to their countries of origin.
The number of passengers flying through Dubai International Airport, the world's busiest for international travel, surged last year beyond its total for 2019, just before the coronavirus pandemic grounded global aviation. While still shy of its all-time high in 2018, the figures for 2023 show just how far the airport known as DXB has bounced back from the pandemic. The number of passengers passing through its cavernous, air-conditioned terminal, home to the long-haul carrier Emirates in Dubai, long has served as a barometer for the aviation industry worldwide and the wider economic health of the city-state.
Overall, in 2023, the airport had 86.9 million passengers. The airport's 2019's annual traffic was 86.3 million passengers. The airport had 89.1 million passengers in 2018, while 66 million passengers passed through in 2022. Earlier in February, Dubai announced its best-ever tourism numbers, saying it hosted 17.15 million international overnight visitors in 2023. Average hotel occupancy stood around 77%. Meanwhile, its boom-and-bust real estate market remains on a hot streak, nearing all-time high valuations. The airport has estimated it will serve 88.8 million passengers this year, but that will put increasing pressure on the already stretched airport, which had its highest-ever number of aircraft takeoffs and landings in a single year. Dubai International Airport connects to 262 destinations in 104 countries worldwide via just over 100 international carriers.
Atomic bomb epic Oppenheimer won 7 prizes, including Best Picture, Director, and Actor at the 77th British Academy Film Awards on Sunday, cementing its frontrunner status for the Oscar next month. Gothic fantasia Poor Thing took 5 prizes, and Holocaust drama The Zone of Interest won 3. Christopher Nolan won his first Best Director BAFTA for Oppenheimer, and Cillian Murphy won the Best Actor prize for playing physician J. Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb. Murphy said he was grateful to play such a colossal, naughty, complex character.
And I know what it means if the Nazis have a bomb.
Oppenheimer had a field-leading 13 nominations, but missed out on the record of 9 trophies, set in 1971 by Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. It won the Best Film race against Poor Things, Killers of the Flower Moon, Anatomy of a Fall, and The Holdovers. Oppenheimer also won trophies for editing, cinematography, and musical score, as well as the Best Supporting Actor prize for Robert Downey Jr. Guest of honor was Prince William, in his role as president of the British Academy of Film and Television Arts. He arrived without his wife, Kate, who is recovering from abdominal surgery last month. The ceremony included musical performances by Ted Lasso, star Hannah Waddingham, singing Time After Time, and Sophie Ellis-Bextor, singing her 2001 hit, Murder on the Dance Floor, which shot back up the charts after featuring in Saltburn.
The answer for yesterday was A, resurgence. Japan's economic resurgence was based on a unique set of institutions. Now let's delve into the news of media campaign for British Museum to return Easter Island statue. Number 1, monument, 纪念碑. A monument to him was erected in St. Paul's Cathedral. Number 2, deactivate, 停止工作，灭火化. Do you know how to deactivate the alarm? Number 3, prominent, 重要的，著名的，杰出的. He played a prominent part in the campaign. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section, and the correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's it for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune into Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Wade Lee, your host. I'll see you next time.